to be back in my studio. This is the first Small Business Diaries of 2025 and I have a lot planned for this year and a lot of things that I'm excited to do and release and everything. So I'm excited to bring you along for the journey. If you're already subscribed, you may have seen that I released a beginner's guide to sewing video last week, I think it was. And it's basically the first step in me teaching a lot of you guys how to sew, especially sewing your own inmate garments, because last year I started selling my own sewing patterns and I'm wanting to do more of that this year. I just have a lot of old sewing patterns that I really want to release first this year and then start doing some of my releases from last year. I'm going to be working on the Cora skirt pattern because that's one of the pieces that I released I think in 2023 and it's a really easy piece to actually sew, and I thought that that would be a good place to start. And then I have an older skirt that I don't do anymore that I want to do, and then plus a bunch of other ones. So I'm going to be working on that this week and next week and hopefully have the Cora skirt sewing pattern available this weekend. I also have a few orders that I need to work on and some new designs that I need to work on. Like there's a lot that has to happen, and the start of this year is busy for me setting up for the rest of this year, and I'm just really excited and I hope that everything goes to plan because sometimes it doesn't and it's very frustrating, and yeah, but I'm hoping everything goes to plan and everything works out how I want it to. But I'm excited to take you along for the journey. If you've been following me for a while, whether that's on YouTube or on my Instagram or TikTok, you may have seen that my studio was set up a little bit differently from how it is now. I decided to just give it a bit of a declutter and just move some furniture around and just make it a lot more, I guess, inviting, comforting, just give it a little bit more of a revamp, I guess, because I've been feeling a little stagnant and just not very inspired in my studio. I'm very grateful to have this space and be able to work from home, but I definitely have been feeling, I guess, a bit uninspired in here just because I've been in here for 5 years. It's a bit dark and dull and I hate the carpet. I just hate this grey carpet. I just want to get rid of it, but I can't because it's a rental, obviously. So yeah, I decided that I wanted to give it a bit of a freshen up, make it look a little bit nicer, more inviting, and also just, I guess, change things around just so that I'm not in the same environment all the time. I do like change and I've been here for like 5 years now. I've been hoping to hopefully move into my own studio, hopefully sometime this year. I wanted to last year, but that wasn't possible. So hopefully this year I'm able to actually move into a studio and just get out of the house, because yeah, that's the other thing. Like I wake up and I go downstairs and I work. Like I don't have a separation from home and work, and I've been really feeling that I think this last 12 months, especially since I left my part-time job. I don't have like somewhere else where I go and talk to people or just where I leave the house. So yeah, I just needed a bit of a freshen up in the studio and it looks a lot better now, so I'll walk you through it all. Okay, I probably should have vacuumed the floor before I did this, but let's just ignore the messy floor. So this is the new setup. If you remembered, I moved this desk. It was here before, but then I moved it so it was going this way in the center of the room because I was sewing my sewing pattern tutorials, filming my sewing pattern tutorials, sorry. And it was just very dark when it was against this wall. So when I was filming here, it was just super dark and you couldn't really see anything. So I moved it into the center here. But then when I'm sewing here, I get the glare from this big window slash door and it just hurts my eyes. So I moved it back against this wall here. Basically, this is what you see when you come in. It looks so much nicer and everything, very inviting. I bought this rug and I thought it was a lot more natural, neutral colors sort of thing, but it's very pink. So like it's very nice and it's very, very soft, but I definitely thought it was a bit more like neutral colored rather than this very pinky color, but it's fine. It hides this ugly grey carpet that I hate so much. So at least this is down and it's very bright and it's inviting and very cute. So I'm happy with that. This is the side that has my sewing desk on it. So I have my Juki and my overlocker, my Jaimi overlocker there. This big table is from IKEA. I don't know the name of it. I'll try and put it on the screen here. Laptop, just some assortments. I have this bowl here with my pens and just sewing stuff, all of those things. This corkboard slash whiteboard, I want to remove it and put it upstairs. I also need to take off all of those things. They've been there for a while, but I want to take this and put it upstairs and then put a new, just a plain corkboard there without the whiteboard, and just have like one there instead, but I still need to do that. This is my trolley that just has all of my sewing stuff on it. I have all of my threads there. I have my sewing equipment and scissors and all sorts of things, my labels, overlocking threads. This is my vision board, which was the same one that I used last year. I just added some more photos to it, and I also added in a little like bingo card, I guess, because I've seen a lot of people do that and I thought that would be fun. So I just thought that I would add a few more photos to that, and then I could just reuse that for this year. This is my packing table slash where I put my patterns when I'm sewing orders. Also, this table's from IKEA, but these little dowel thingies were from some clothing racks that I used to use at the markets, and I asked my boyfriend if he could put them on here somehow so that I could put my tissue paper here, and then I can just like pull it and put it up there. More packing stuff. I just have boxes, there's more tissue paper in there, my thank you card, stickers, and then just like pen and pencils, stickers, and all that stuff. This is my vision board for this year. I have two little racks of, these are just like old threads. I don't really use them, but I didn't want to like put them away somewhere, so I just decided to chuck them on these things. Some books, and then I just have, those are some clothes that I need to give to my friends. Some packing stuff, so all of my shipping labels. I've gone back to using these instead of my craft mailers for the time being. These are some really big ones. I have some sewing stuff there. That's just some random stuff. That's more overlocking thread. This is just some stuff that, again, I need to like organize that. There's a corkboard behind there that I'm going to put up somewhere, either in here or the upstairs studio. There's just some signs and whatever there. My printer, this is my mun bin, which I really love. It's great. I much prefer it over the Dymo. Elastic, and then I have all my shipping stuff, so my shipping labels, some more stickers, all those types of things. Some more sewing stuff, my computer and all of my accessories for the computer and SD cards and everything. All of my camera stuff is in there. And then I just have like files and folders, and then my art supplies. Then on this side I have my scales for my shipping weights, my iron, and then just some random stuff there, some paper for my printer. I keep my ironing board in here now, so I'm only taking it out when I need it, and it's staying in here. And then I have my printer, and then there's some more cardboard boxes back there. And then I have a frame that has a picture of a lady that my friend Maddie drew. She used to have an art business, but she doesn't really do it anymore. But I have two of her paintings or prints. Put one here, and then I have one upstairs, and then this is from Studio Sonny as well. Okay, so with this corner, I have a vision. Okay, and if you're wondering what is the go with the floorboards, basically I hate the carpet and I want to hide it as much as I can. And I had these lying around from, I think my mum got them from a flooring company or something. They were just like samples of like pieces of flooring that they have, and I used to use them as flat lays. I only used them a couple of times, and they've just been sitting under the stairs, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use them as like a way to cover up the floor instead of buying another rug, because I will eventually buy another rug, I guess, to go over that sort of section, but for the time being I'm just gonna put these down, because also it just looks so much nicer than the ugly grey carpet. So they're there at the moment, and I know that they're two different colours. Let's just pretend that they're the same, because I don't want to try and fix that in some way. I don't even know how I could fix that. I can't. Basically, I picture that I have maybe like a plant here in like a little like raised pot of some sort. Obviously I have my prints, and then I want to put like a chair of some sort here. I'm trying to find like a cute, maybe like a boucle chair, but like also they're really expensive, so I don't know. But some sort of chair here, and then also a dresser slash cupboard sort of thing here that I can put like plants and other things on. Then I can use this as like my outfit reveal sort of video section thing, and then also because I want to do like sit down chat sort of videos and stuff for Instagram and TikTok. So that was my idea for this whole section and what I want to do with it, and that's why there's this weird flooring part here. Okay, so I have a couple of orders that I need to start working on, and it's about 9:30ish. So I'm gonna get a head start on that, and then I'll come back and talk to you about what I plan to do for the rest of this week, and just some social media setups and goals and all those sorts of things. So I'll see you very soon. Okay, it's a little while later. I have finished that order that I needed to work on. So I did some Harper shorts in that really gorgeous buttery yellow, and then the matching Desi top as well. These are actually for a friend of mine that I used to go to school with. I haven't really seen her since school, but we've kept in contact, and her mum and her sister bought those for her. So they're super cute, and I know that she'll love them, so thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about Notion. So I wish this was a sponsored video because I love Notion. I use it all the time. I use it literally every single day, and I've been using it for years. Manifesting a sponsorship deal with them one day. That'd be nice. But I use Notion to plan out my weeks, my days, everything. I have like some journaling stuff in there. I have my life goals and just everything. Anything to do with my business is basically in Notion, and I use it all the time. I wanted to go over some of my goals for this year. I'm obviously not going to go too deep into them, but I want to talk about a few things that I want to achieve this year, personally and in my business. These are my goals for this year, and it's good for me to just, I guess, go back on them and keep referring to them all the time. I also have my 2025 bingo card on my vision board up there, which I showed in the beginning. But that basically is just for me, I guess, to keep referring back to every day. There's also just like little, I guess, habits that I've written in here. So like ride my bike more, eat healthy meals, those types of things. So they're just things that I'm going to be doing throughout the year, that they're not really so much a huge goal that I have to like achieve or anything, but it's just something else for me to be like, oh yeah, that's right, I want to make sure that I'm doing those things because it'll make me feel better. I'll share a couple of my goals for my business this year. So obviously I want to grow my business more. I feel like I plateaued last year. That's the way to describe it. But basically end of 2023 and start of 2024, my business grew a lot on social media, and I gained a lot of new followers. I was getting so many orders. I had to like close my website, and it was great. And then I had a break, and then I tried to go back to, I guess, posting like how I was in 2023, which was just posting randomly and just uploading because I needed to upload a video that day. Like I was making sure that I was posting every single day, and some of my content, I guess, just wasn't as best quality as it could be. And I feel like that really made me struggle with growth last year. I got to a point where I just stuck at the same amount of followers, which I'm grateful for, and I'm really happy that I've reached this level. But I work for myself now, and I need to make sure that I can support myself and the business as well at the same time, which is, it's hard to do. So I need to grow so that I can reach new customers, and also make sure that the customers that are following me and enjoying my content are enjoying my content. Like, they're not seeing the same thing posted over again, it's boring, that type of stuff. So I think last year I got to a point where I was just posting things for the sake of posting it, and it wasn't really anything new, and it was just a bit boring. So yeah, I want to try and focus a lot more on my social media this year, not post as much, still trying to post every single day, but maybe not as many like video stuff at the moment, just while I work out my content strategy, which I'll go over in a second. Next thing is, I really want to hire someone, even if it's just an intern for like a few months. I would just love to have someone else working with me for a little bit, because I work for myself, so I don't talk to anyone throughout the day. It's just me talking to a camera or talking to myself or the cat. Yeah, it's just good to have like someone there that you can bounce ideas off of, or just have someone else there to like help me when it's a busy period, or if I'm like doing something and I need help, like say I need to go take photos of an outfit, or I want to go film content outside. Like, it's always good to have someone there, and a lot of the time I can't always rely on my friends because they've got work or they've got their own commitments as well. So I would love to eventually get to that point where I can hire someone, whether that's an internship or someone who comes on casual part-time. I spoke about this before, but I really want to move out into my own studio. That's my biggest goal. That's been my goal for the last like 3 or 4 years, is to get my own studio. Basically, coming into my 5th year of business. I really just want to get out of my house, because I've been working from home for 5 years, and full-time working from home for the last 6 or 7 months. So I just need to have that separation where I'm not waking up and I'm going downstairs and just starting work. I want to like wake up and do like a morning routine, whether that be I go and get coffee, I go for a walk, or I go watch the sunrise, or I do something in the morning, then I get ready and I go to work, and I go somewhere else to work. And then in the afternoon, I can do something in the afternoon, which, especially towards the end, the last like half of last year, I just slacked off and I was just so lazy, and I would literally just wake up and I would walk downstairs and I would work, and then I'd go to bed, and that was it. So I really want to like have that separation, so then I have a place to go to work, and I kind of have like a commute, I guess, and like something else, because when I worked at my part-time job, I at least had somewhere else to go. Like, I was able to leave my house and like talk to people throughout my day, and like just do something else where I'm not at home, whereas now I'm just always at home. And as grateful as I am to be able to work from home, and as easy as it is, and as much as I love it, I do miss just leaving the house and going somewhere else. I hope that makes sense. So that's a really big goal of mine. I'm hoping by the end of this year I'm able to afford my own studio, and I do have something else that I want to attach to that studio. I don't know if I'll talk about it, but basically I would like it to be another business as well, so not just in May. I want it to be big enough that the upstairs space can be just for in May and all of my sewing stuff, and then downstairs I want it to be a content space. I don't really want to go too much into it because yeah, but basically that's my dream. That's what I want to do. It's sort of like another business instead of just in May, and I've been thinking about it for like the last 3 or 4 years, and I just really would love to have a studio space, a warehouse space for my business, plus the other business that I would like to start hopefully this year. So that's a big goal of mine. 2 other things that I really want to do this year is I want to have an event. I did an event last year with just my friends, and it was so much fun, and I really loved it, and I learned a lot of how to, I guess, be a host and what I need to do differently for when I have an actual event. That was like my reasoning for doing that event, was obviously to celebrate my friends and say thanks for their support of my business and me, but also to, I guess, practice for if I had a real event, because there was a few things that went wrong, and I'm grateful that my friends were there, that they were able to help me solve those issues and everything when they came. I also really want to have a pop-up store. So I kind of said this last year, I think, in like a Q&A sort of thing. I wanted to do a pop-up store in Noosa at the end of last year, but then the end of the year is just so busy anyway, so I just ran out of time because obviously there's like running up to Christmas and everything, it just gets hectic. So I didn't end up doing it last year. I don't think that I'll do it at the start of this year, maybe in the middle of this year, or maybe at the end of the year, I don't know. I do really just want to have a pop-up shop because I miss that like human interaction, I guess. Like I really loved when I did the markets, I would talk to my customers and I would also get to see them trying on pieces and telling me the things that they loved about it, or asking me like what pieces that they would like to see me make, or just helping me out with my design process. That was something that was really good to have, and be able to listen to you guys have like live feedback, I guess, on pieces was really nice. So I do miss that about the markets. And then also I just miss like having that human interaction as well, like what I was talking about before. So it'd be nice to have a pop-up shop, even if it's just for a weekend. It'd be really nice to do that, and then I can just like hear you guys' feedback and obviously see you guys try on your pieces, because I love when I see people wearing in May. It just makes me so happy. So yeah, those are my main goals for this year, for my business at least. And then I have other personal goals for this year. Run once a week, that's a goal of mine. I also have like some other things. I want to read 10 books this year. I've already finished one book and I'm reading my second book, and then the third book that I'm going to read, I've started like a little bit of it, which is The Artist's Way, which I would also like to do like a little series, I guess, on here. So I think that's something that I'm going to maybe work on in the coming weeks. I do have a plan to do something about it, but I'm not too sure about it yet. But basically it's just like a work through book thing. You do like these different tasks and everything. There's like different weeks, 12 weeks I think, of different tasks that you do. Some other goals that I have in my Notion that I have set up is my financial goals, my relationship goals, and travel / adventure. So I'm not going to say much about those things, but I do want to obviously travel a lot more this year. I didn't really do anything last year. Like I think the furthest I went was to the Gold Coast, and I only went there twice, and it was for my best friend's wedding and to see my grandparents, and that was it. So that was like, I'm grateful that I did that, but I just didn't really leave the house last year, and that's what I'm trying to change. Like I want to go out and do more, like even if it's just a little weekend trip and I go like 2 hours from here or something like that. Okay, those are pretty much my goals and everything for this year. I will talk about my calendar and everything. I have the next 2-3 months planned for the year, but that obviously gets changed every now and again. Like each week is different. I may have more orders one week, I may have less orders one week, so it just depends on what's going on with that. But I will talk about my content setup for this year, for at least the first month or so. I have a basic setup for what I want to be posting, and I'm going to be following through with that for the next couple of months and seeing how it goes, and then changing it as I need, whether that be posting more, posting less. I did a Google Calendar form questionnaire sort of thing towards the end of last year, asking my followers a bunch of questions that they had about the business or me or fashion or just sustainability or slow fashion, all those types of things. And I'm going to incorporate those questions into my videos that I have upcoming. I have a lot of ideas that I want to do and a lot of questions that I want to answer and like topics that I want to talk about. That's why I've set this all up the way that it is, and hopefully it'll allow me to make good quality content and post stuff not just for the sake of posting it, but you know, putting a little bit more effort into the content that I'm posting and just make it look a lot better. My plan is that I post a video on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday I post a photo or carousel of photos, and I can also post more or less depending on my situation, what's going on, all those types of things. I would maybe like to post an extra video on a Sunday or an extra photo on a Sunday as well, but at least having those 5 days and they're not all videos, it would just be a lot more helpful and a lot less stressful for me. So I have my videos for this week already filmed, but I need to work on my content for next week, which I'm going to do probably maybe Thursday or Friday depending on how busy I am. But I'm going to work on that later on in the week, and then I also want to try and batch a few more bits of content for the coming weeks after. So I might do like a try on outfit sort of video or something like that, but I need to plan that out. But I'm going to pack up that order for the time being, take it to the post office, send it out, and then I might come back and organize all of this. Let's talk about goal setting. As I mentioned before, I have quite a few goals for 2025, and I hope to achieve most of them, if not all of them. While it's all well and good to write down all your hopes for the year, it's important that we go in with a plan of how we're going to achieve them and refer back to them often. This was something that I failed to do last year. I wrote down a lot of goals and didn't action any of them because I didn't break them down on how I would achieve them, the steps I needed to take to get there, and what to do if I wasn't able to do the steps. So first off, let's look at my goal for growing my business. I have little goals inside of this, like how many people I want following me, how many orders I want, how much money I need, etc. But let's focus on the main goal, which is growth, and figure out our why. It's important to know our why because when we look back on our goal, we want to know what the reason is for achieving this. Why do you want that house? Why do you want that car? Why do you want to travel, etc.? My why is because I want to teach others about sustainable and slow fashion, to get people away from buying fast fashion, to help people learn how to sew, and of course for me to have a creative outlet. I'll use the example of buying a house for you. So if that's your goal, maybe your why is because then you're paying your own mortgage instead of someone else's. Maybe so that you can buy a dog because currently where you rent in a unit, it won't allow it. Or maybe you don't want to be in a share house anymore. Figuring out your why is very important because on those days when you don't feel like working towards it, you can refer back to your why to remember your reasons to keep going. Once you've figured that out, now it's time to work on the steps you need to do. For me, what are the things I need to do to get to my main goal? I need to post more consistently on social media. I need to create engaging content that is educational or entertaining. I need to reach more customers and sell more products. Let's focus on my social media strategy for now. Basically, last year I had the goal to grow, but I didn't exactly have a set plan for how I would grow. I knew I needed to post consistently, and to me that meant every day, but what was the content? What was I posting, and how would it engage my audience? This is where I found it hard to be consistent and why I struggled and why I just posted whatever I could on those days I needed to, because I didn't have a plan and I also didn't have a backup plan, which I'll go into in a second. So this year, my plan for the next 2 months or so at least is to figure out a topic for the week, then post a video on my social media that is engaging, entertaining, or educational on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And every Tuesday and Thursday, I post a carousel that is re-engaging about the topic for the week. I'll film these videos a week before, or if I can, I'll batch film them a couple weeks ahead of time so that they're all ready to go. Going in with a plan will help me avoid the problem I had last year where I didn't know what to post that week and would just go find some old footage and post whatever I could come up with. Now let's talk about the backup plan. So on days where I'm unable to post or a week where I'm unable to post anything, I want to create backup content. Even if that means I have one video or one photo post going out that week, at least it'll keep me in alignment with my goal. But these posts still need to be entertaining or educational, not just a random quote that I thought of last minute. So for you, if you were doing the house example, maybe your steps for each week is to save $200 towards a deposit, and your backup, if you accidentally miss a week, is to pay it the next week or pay that amount in installments over the next few weeks. It's really important to have a backup plan to help keep you on track when you miss those weeks. If you miss 1 week, it's fine, but it's when you fall into the habit of continuously missing weeks that you start to fall behind on your goal and we lose sight on it. I really want my business to grow this year, so making sure that I have a good content strategy set and I'm following through with my filming schedule, and also making sure I have those backup posts or ideas for those just in case moments can help me achieve my goals this year. It's Friday and I thought that I should end the vlog here today because I'm really only doing computer work and it's a bit boring. So obviously at the beginning of the video I talked about my goals. I do have a lot for this year and I'm hoping to achieve all of them, but my biggest goal is of course hiring someone and moving into a studio or warehouse space. I'm at that stage where I really want to separate my work from home and have a separate place to go to, as well as I want to grow. I've solidified what I'm doing, where I'm taking the brand and everything, and now it's just growing the business, and I can't do all of that from home. So yeah, I'm going to be trying my hardest to grow the business, and you're going to come along for the journey. I'm going to try and share a lot more of it here on YouTube as well as on my Instagram and TikTok. I just want to put a lot more effort into my content this year and just make it a lot better than what I was doing in the last 6 months of last year. That's what really caused me to struggle with growth last year, was just me just slapping things together in the last hour before I had to post it. So I'm going to put a lot more effort into my content and focusing on it and making sure that it's entertaining or educating and just a lot better. So that's my goal and I really hope to achieve it, and I've set myself up for January really well, and I've been waking up early and I've been starting work early and getting all of my tasks and everything done for the day, and I'm hoping to continue doing this throughout the year and achieving all of my goals that I have set. January is the easiest month to do goals. It's when you get to July, August, September when you start going, I could take a nap, I could slack off and not do this, but it's no, we've got goals, we have things that we want to achieve this year. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So you're going to see a lot more of my face, and hopefully you'll maybe see me move out of this studio, potentially, and hire someone, potentially, hopefully. By the time this video comes out, the Cora Bias Cut Maxi Skirt Sewing Pattern tutorial video will be available on my YouTube, as well as the pattern will be available to purchase on my website. It is a really easy pattern to sew and it's really fun, and you'll probably end up making 10 of these because they're just really great to have. I'm glad that I got that one out. That's basically my second pattern for this year because I had the tote bag in the sewing guide video. So I've got 2 patterns already out from this year. I'm hoping to release 1 or 2 patterns each month just because they do take me quite a lot of time to do, and depending on how busy I am with sewing orders, collections, content, anything to do with the business, I obviously have to prioritize that first, and then sewing patterns are what I do after when I have some spare time. So if you are waiting for sewing patterns, please be patient with me. I'm doing my best. But yeah, I'm going to finish that video so that it's out for the weekend for you guys who want to sew the Cora skirt. And yeah, that's all for now. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.